Oh yeah, welcome everyone to ZMAX Dragway, part of Charlotte Motor Speedway, and the kickoff to the second ever SMX Playoff and World Championship starting right here in North Carolina. Jason Wygant and Jason Thomas here to host our press conference today. We want to get right to the athletes because we know that for both the media on hand, the folks watching around the world, and the fans that are here in person at ZMAX, that's who they want to talk to. But we do want to acknowledge real quick the people that have come together to help make this SMX Playoff and SuperMotocross World Championship happen. That includes our partners, Monster Energy, Fly Racing, Progressive Insurance, Rocky Mountain ATVMC, Alpine Stars, Thor, Motorcycle Mechanics Institute, but of course also the athletes who are going to come here to put on a show over the next 3 weekends, the teams that have invested in this championship and want those World Championship #1 plates on their motorcycles, and the OEMs as part of those teams. All the manufacturers, the teams, and the riders being on board is what has really made this playoff and World Championship what it was last year and what we believe it will be this year and going into the future. And, of course, thanks to the fans and those watching around the world and our live stream audience for joining us as well. And then tomorrow, our broadcast partners with NBC and Peacock and the SuperMotocross Video Pass, allowing fans here and around the world to watch what should be an awesome 3 weekends of racing. And since this is not new this year, since we did this last year, most people probably understand how it works, but we will have a video here to refresh. We are taking the points from both Monster Energy Supercross and Pro Motocross to give a top 20 seeding and ranking for riders to race in these playoffs, and then riders ranked 30 on back will have to qualify through last chance qualifiers. So as a quick recap to how that top 20 was determined, we'll go to the video screen and show you how we got here.
This is going to be a fight down to the wire.
Let's do it the 2024 style.
One of the best seasons we've ever seen.
He's about to add another chapter.
Let's go.
It'll be the first time in his career that he holds the red plate.
Keep an eye on Cooper
Rolling
Webb.
lower
in the corners.
Up the inside.
Little to no effort.
Cooper Webb. Sexton
is right
Chase
there.
Sexton wins. San Francisco.
That is Jet Lawrence doing what he has to do.
Exactly right. The race leader.
Jet Lawrence back on top.
Yeah.
And he's pumped.
Look at that, man.
Congratulations on a great season. It's a great pleasure to present you the 2024 Pro Motocross Championship.
Chase Sexton won an Ironman and the crowning moment motocross title.
Being back home, it's nothing like it. So this one's special to me.
That is awesome, and this has been a great season, both indoors and out, leading to this. And that's one of the great parts about the SMX playoffs in this sport. It still leaves the traditional Supercross and Motocross championships intact. This is the ultimate prize. This is the most money, the most prestige, and the coming together of both series. So what we've done here on stage is we've assembled some of the trophies that have already been handed out this year in Supercross and Motocross that you did get to see on the podium, on television, and in person this year. But for the first time, we will reveal the all-new SuperMotocross World Championship trophy, the sport's ultimate prize. And what's interesting about the symbolism of this trophy is that it has 4 ascending race lines culminating. And the reason for that is it really took 4 pillars to make this playoff and World Championship possible. That is the coming together of the Supercross Championship, the Motocross Championship, and those entities, as well as the manufacturers and teams and the riders all agreeing to do this, all working together as one to make, hopefully, this sport better and better and better. And now we can show you the brand new SuperMotocross World Championship trophy. So you can see the 4 lines around the top surrounding the globe. It is a world championship. We talked about this at the Pro Motocross finale with the amount of different riders coming from around the world to race in this championship. And that's a tradition, but we've seen that ramp up even more with the prestige and money that's on the line in these playoffs. So that's why there's a globe and those 4 pillars around it representing the athletes, the teams, the OEMs, and the both existing championships all working together. So this is exciting. We will hand that out in Las Vegas. I'll turn it over to Jason Thomas, and we'll talk to some riders.
Thank you, Jason. And without further ado, we will talk to some of the athletes, and we're going to start with our 65 World All-Stars. I will call you up one at a time. First up, we're going to have Abshir Hall on a Husqvarna, followed by Gavin Weltsian on a Gas, Beckham Smith on a KTM, Cannon Zabonik on a Cobra, Carter Gray on a Cobra, Jaden Smart on a Cobra, and finally Caden Nightingale on a Yamaha.
I think we got Gavin McCoy here. Gavin McCoy also on a Cobra. Come on up. 65's raced here last year. I'm from this area. I had local people who had never been to a motocross or supercross race before. They were more impressed with the 65s than anything Jet Lawrence or Hayden Deegan or Chase Sexton were doing out on the racetrack. So we hope to get a little bit of that. Again, I'm going to go to Beckham Smith, who did race this last year, and I heard you have been doing some prep on a SMX-style track. So what is it like to hit the big jumps on a track like this?
Yeah, it's fun, but it's scary at the same time. And Greg Albertson has been getting me down on the big jumps, and it's fun, and yeah, it's like really fun to hit big jumps.
I have a question for Jaden Smart. Caught me by surprise watching the Super Bowl, see you on this commercial. How has that experience been for you? You're probably the most famous rider here. We have the likes of Jet Lawrence and Chase Sexton amongst us.
Yeah, it's cool. The Dodge Ram commercial was really fun. And it was really cool because they had like a really big truck that had like a really big camera. So it was super fun experience, and just I had a lot of fun doing the commercial. So it was really fun.
It's awesome.
Have you been recognized by some people now? Are you more famous?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the Dodge Ram Super Bowl commercial. We'll open it up to the media if we have questions for our 65cc riders up here. Got a microphone going around somewhere.
Hey guys, Michael Antonovich with Swap Moto Live. I'll pick you, Jaden, just because, you know, you're the guy that everybody's been talking about right now. To be part of this series and get to be, you know, with all the best racers in the world, what's it feel like to be part of this stage today?
It's really cool. Just seeing all the pros right over there, and just to see them is really cool. And to race on the same track as them, tracks looks really cool. But where's the triple?
Did you jump the triple last year? Didn't you?
Yeah.
Yes. And how old are you now?
11.
How old? So you were 10 years old jumping the triple last year?
Yeah.
That got people excited for sure. Cade Nightingale, I'll ask one for you. Yeah, what is this like? You've raced a lot of big races, but what is it like to be here with this packed stands and it's on TV and all those things?
It's really cool because all the races, there's just like it's big and everything, but I've never raced in like a stadium, and like last year I didn't come because we thought it was just going to be like a little race and everything, but then this year saw it on TV and we're like, oh, that's cool, so we just came and got out. It's cool to race on the same track as the pros and everything.
Yeah, it is a big deal. That's cool. It sold itself.
I have a question for Carter. You were one of the few that raced this race last year, and we talked to so many professional riders about they didn't really know what to expect. They learned so much throughout the weekend. How was that for you? Were you able to practice on tracks that are much more like what you'll see tomorrow, or today and tomorrow?
Last year I actually had no prep. We didn't really think it was going to be that big, but I was like I was the first one to hit every single jump, even the triple and the double in the back. So this year we prepared a lot more, so it'd probably be a lot better, my result.
Do you wish the triple was there, though? Still got that in your mind?
Yeah.
That's crazy. We have other questions from the media for our 65 riders. Abshir Hall. Hey, Abshir Hall, aren't you relatively local?
Yeah,
You got extra people coming to watch this weekend?
a lot more, yeah.
Oh, okay. So what's that like? Because that's one of the cool things about racing here at Charlotte. We don't normally get some of the bigger races right here. So that's pretty neat, I would think, to have that many extra people watching.
Yeah, I'm pretty local. I'm probably like an hour and a half away from here. So me and Cooper are pretty local. And one time he went to come train at Daxton's, and I got to saw him. So that's how I started to know that we were actually kind of close together in the same state.
This is Cooper Webb we're talking about?
Yeah,
That's pretty cool to have that connection. That's pretty cool.
yeah.
We have any other questions for our 65s? There we go.
This one's pretty much for all you boys. Jace from Gypsy Tales, by the way. you're all about 10, 11 years old. Is Supercross the future for you guys? Like, does any of you want to be a fireman or an astronaut? Or do you just all want to be Supercross racers? You all know exactly what you're doing and you're all grinding to be pro in the future. So whoever wants to take that.
I don't want to go to any single job except for this. Yeah, I just want to be a pro Supercross rider and motocross rider. Yeah, I do too. I want to be what the pros are right now, but I'm not there yet. But I will get there, and I'm going to be a pro rider.
Is it cool to have like the goal kind of set out? Because I think a lot of kids your age have really like no idea what they want to do. But is it cool to be in the position where you're in, where you kind of know what the next few years of your life look like, and then you come to something like this, and it's like basically a trial run for your future?
Yeah, the SMX program helps a lot to see what you're going to be in the future and your way path to your goal.
Oh, good work, boys. Good luck. Proud
Well
of
done.
you.
Got to get used to
thank
press
you.
conferences, too. We have any other questions for our 65s? All right, we'll give them a round of applause. Thanks, kids. Thanks, boys. You can come on off and hang out. They'll be riding this afternoon, our 65 World All-Stars. There we go. Need line leaders, just like you would if you're in school. You got to help out in the hallways. Okay, that's our 65 World All-Stars. We'll transition to our 250 SMX riders, and they'll come to the stage in the order that I call them. These are riders seated in the top 20. Ryder DeFrancisco, come on up. Julian Beaumer. Joe Shimoda. RJ Hampshire. Tom Viel. Hayden Deegan. Levi Kitchen. Chance Hymas. Jordan Smith. Pierce Brown. And Jalik Swole.
So we'll start the questions off for Hayden Deegan. Last year, this was kind of your breakout championship. You win the inaugural 250 SuperMotocross World Championship. But this year, you've obviously had more success coming right off the Pro Motocross Championship. Does that change your confidence level going into the opener of this round?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, last year was kind of nice, too, because I was, like, struggling on the whoops a little bit, so then I got on, like, a hybrid track, and it all worked out. So, I mean, obviously I got that cleared up now, but, yeah, it's going to be exciting.
All right, we'll open it up to the media for our 250 riders. I'm sure there's lots of questions out there.
Jace from Gypsy Tales, this one's for you, Jalik. So this year, it's obviously first year with Triumph, new motorcycle, and you're a guy that's responsible for helping test the bike in race conditions, but you're also having a really good year personally, like one of maybe your better seasons. So has it been difficult to balance being the test guy that's trying to develop a new motorcycle and in really uncharted waters versus trying to do the best that you can every single weekend while you are riding so well?
Yeah, I mean, it's been tough. I mean, the bike has obviously helped me out a lot, just being a good bike and kind of just comfortable for me. But yeah, I mean, it is pretty tough. I mean, for the most part all year, I've been pretty much by myself and training by myself. And yeah, when we go to these races, yeah, I have to learn. So yeah, I've been pretty humble about it, trying to just have fun, be level-headed about it, and not take it too serious. Obviously, you know, I want a good result, but I've been just trying to have fun with it, and it's been working out, and that's kind of been my style. And these guys at Triumph, you know, they make my job easy because they work so hard, and I just show up and try to deliver. So it's been easy for me to just have fun and show up, and that's kind of been the key to my success, I feel, this year. And yeah, it's been one of my better years, but I feel like it's just been a little bit of just being at every race, to be honest with you. In the past, I feel like I've just been injured and missed most of the races. So being at most of the races, I feel, has helped me get to where I'm at. And obviously, we're still building, but I feel like next year with all the data we got will be a really good year for me. So I'm pretty excited and also excited to be here and try to put on a show for you guys.
Dan Beaver, NBC Sports for Chance. A lot of momentum to end the season. Congratulations on the MXON selection. So you're coming into the series now with just a lot of impetus behind you. Seated 5th, how important is this first race, even though it's only 1x points, to move up a little bit to establish yourself as one of the riders to beat?
Yeah, first off, thank you. Appreciate it. And I think it's important to get out of here with a good result. I mean, especially when you get to the dual points and the triple points. So I think leaving this weekend with a good podium position, or even I think top 5, would be very important going into the last 2 rounds.
Chance, you did not race SMX last year, right? So talk about the challenges. What are you trying to do to get ready for this?
Yeah, trying to watch as much film from last year over it, and obviously trying to lean on Jet Hunter as much as I can. So I think coming in, just really me being excited to go race. It's something new, something different. So I've been looking forward to it all year, and yeah, like I said, just trying to watch as much possible from last year. And the 2-moto schedule, like outdoors, I think won't be as difficult coming in off outdoors. So yeah, mostly just excited for it.
Questions for Jordan Smith. Quentin Fowler, We Went Fast. Jordan, you finished both series first time in a fair amount of years. Entering into the playoffs here, what are your aspirations and goals for finishing?
Yeah, it was good season for me to be at every round. I think it was actually maybe the first time I've been at every single round. I think I missed the last round of outdoors one year. So, yeah, I feel really good. I feel really healthy. I think throughout the year I pretty much made every training day. So I think that these races will suit me a little bit more than the motocross did. So I kind of like the split start as well. You don't have to beat as many guys on one start, you know. So yeah, looking forward to it. I had a really good run in the playoffs last year, so we'll see if I can build on that and get started good here at Charlotte.
Joe Shimoda, we weren't sure if we were going to see you here this weekend. Broken collarbone at Unadilla. Can you tell us where you're at in your recovery and what your expectations are based off of that?
So it's going to be, my collarbone's going to be about 4 weeks now. So I think it should be pretty strong. But yeah, like you said, I mean, there is a part, like my scar is not completely healed. So, I mean, goal is to, get up front, try to get roosted.
Hey, for RJ, we know that you won the Supercross championship, missed a bunch of the outdoors because of injury, but you're back now to do this. And as you won the 250 title this year and you watched the summer play out, points are critical in this class. What's the thought process going into tomorrow and then the 3 races?
I mean, just kind of take it as it goes. Like this weekend, like someone said, the next 2 rounds are really important. So just put in a solid result tomorrow. Just be in it, really. I mean, like I said, it comes down to that last round with triple points. That one's huge. So not get too lost out there, because last year I was spinning myself out like crazy trying to set a bike up for this. So just take it as it goes tomorrow and, yeah, have fun with it.
On that note of the bike development and you guys knowing what it's been, I know that way more teams and way more practice facilities have put in SMX tracks. How much has that helped you guys unlock what you need from the bike?
Yeah, we've been on the SMX track for a few weeks now, even before outdoors ended. And honestly, we haven't changed really anything from Supercross stuff. So I'm on a setting that I know, and just going to stick with that and do small adjustments throughout the day.
Chase Cook with Race Day Live. Another question for RJ. So RJ, I was asked earlier this week who my dark horse was for the 250 class coming into the playoffs, and I was reminded of how short-term our memories are, because your name didn't even come to my mind. I was like, oh yeah, RJ. Like RJ is going to be there because you had missed, pretty much all the outdoor season. So do you kind of feel like that right now? Like you're a bit of a dark horse coming to this playoff series?
Yeah, I mean, people might have forgot. I sure didn't. So I feel like I'm still at that level coming into this. Man, it'll be exciting. Like I definitely feel like I can put myself up front and battle for this thing.
And speed-wise, health-wise, 100% ready to go?
Sure, yeah, we're good enough.
Ryder, this race for you was great. Real breakthrough performance. Is there something specific about this style, the format, the track that you really felt like helped you last year and maybe could help again this year?
Yeah, I think we all really shot in the dark last year, and I ended up with a pretty good setup just to start off. So I felt pretty comfortable, and yeah, this is a good one for me last year. So looking forward to it. Good vibes coming into this one, and I'm excited. Last year obviously didn't end the way I wanted to, so yeah, I'm just excited to end it off well.
Scott Yarger, Moto Now blog. Joe, to follow up on your injury, did you know that, like, as soon as it happened, that the goal was to be back right away? And also, have you had much time on the bike, if anything?
Sorry, first part of the question, what did I know right away when it broke? Yeah. Well, I tried to lift my shoulder up, and then kind of like when you break a collarbone, you get this like numb feel right away, and it feels like super weak, but not that much of a pain. But yeah, I felt the kind of the grind in my collarbone moving around, so I just kind of laid it down and kept it steady. But yeah, honestly, not too much time on the motorcycle. Maybe I got in actually 1 450 day and maybe 3 days on 250. I mean, mostly spent time on PlayStation 5. So yeah, we'll see. I think it might be good.
Mitch Kendrick, Racer X. Let's go to Julian Beaumaire. Obviously, great rookie season. You were Pro Motocross Rookie of the Year. I feel like you're better in Supercross. Do you kind of feel like you're excited to come into this new format for you and maybe a little more Supercross style?
Yeah, for sure. Once I got back on Supercross and started riding these SMX tracks these last couple weeks, I felt right at home, and I felt a lot more comfortable than I did during the outdoor season. So I feel strong, and I feel a lot stronger than I did in Supercross this year. So I'm happy with to be back in Supercross, and excited to see how these hybrid tracks lay out.
You said you were more comfortable than you were in motocross, but I think your season was underrated. You were like 8th-ish place almost every weekend when you were there, which as a rookie, and you see how deep this field is, that's pretty good. So have you been satisfied, even if you weren't as comfortable as you wanted? Were you satisfied with the results outdoors?
Yeah, for sure. I think I was satisfied. I struggled a lot in the early stages of outdoors, and then the last 3 rounds I felt like I got going again, and we found a really good setup. So being back on Supercross, though, I think we're a lot more comfortable, and we have a really good setup coming into this weekend. So I'm excited to get going.
Levi Kitchen, you had a lot of momentum exiting the series. You win 3 out of the 5 last Pro Motocross races, but the knee at the final moto, any lingering effects from that, or are you 100%?
No, I'm good now.
Deegs, obviously you win the SMX last year, but I would say it's pretty clear to say that you're a completely different rider in terms of like the guy that just won the Pro Motocross Championship and the way that you did it versus the guy that won the SMX last year. How do you feel coming into this? Do you feel like a completely different rider even though you are the defending champion?
Yeah, 100%. Last year I was so rookie-minded at least, and I mean, race-wise, I feel like I have a whole different technique on the bike, whole different, mindset at the races, confidence-wise. So, I mean, yeah, it should be good.
And why the R8? Obviously, a lot of options in that price bracket. Was there anything particular that drew you to the Audi?
Well, I wanted to get the Lambo, but the Lambo interior was a lot more cheap, so the Audi R8 was a better selection.
Fair call.
Because of the interior, I wouldn't have expected that. Okay. Hayden, just talk about how this plays out. Charlotte didn't end probably the way you wanted it last year. Didn't you have a crash early on, and you were kind of working through some illness and all that, and then somehow you end up winning the championship. So talk about the highs and lows and the drama of the next 3 weeks to be good at the very end.
Yeah, you can say you got to be good at the very end, but you got to be good at the start too. That's where you set the tone, and that's my goal, is to set the tone like I did last year in the first moto. Went out and won. Obviously, second moto wasn't the greatest, but that's the plan, set the tone right off the bat.
So you think that first moto win did really play out to the end of this championship?
Yeah, I mean, it gave me the confidence. That first moto win right there, I feel like I passed some fast dudes, and that kind of gave me the confidence throughout the next 2 rounds where I was like, I can beat these guys.
Hey, Levi, for you, for most of the year, you were 1-2. I know right after Supercross ended, you had the SMX points lead. Midway through the summer, it all started fluctuating. But just to know the barometer of, hey, I'm one of the more consistent guys, one of the top 3 guys in the class. What do you carry into this when you know the point situation is so different by the reset and then the multiplier?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like lately I've been thinking too much about points and that kind of stuff, and it's kind of screwed me every time. So I just want to go out there and start off strong and especially end it strong. I feel I'm a little better on the Supercross stuff. Obviously, it's a little mix. So, I don't know. My starts were good late in the season. I think that's 90% of these races. So, just want to rip some starts and try to win.
Clinton Fowler with We Went Fast. Question for Tom and Hayden. Tom, you won the Supercross series over Hayden. Hayden, you won the Pro Motocross over. What's it going to take for you guys to beat each other in SuperMotocross?
Yeah, that's true. I win the Supercross, he win the outdoor, so the goal is gonna. Hopefully, we can beat him for the SMX. I really like how it was last year, those track, and obviously the first race. It's of course matter, but the second and the last one is.
Just as a follow to that, Tom, does a track like this remind you of a track like Turkey or some of the flyaways where they're artificially built, not a lot of elevation? Do you think that helped you last year and help you this year?
I don't know. I really liked the dirt last year. It's kind of tacky and you have good traction, I think, on the track. So I checked a little bit the track. It's kind of the same as last year, maybe a little bit more motocross, I think. So we're going to see. We all are matching different setup on the suspension. We have to check a little bit today how the bike is, but should be fun. I had a lot of fun last year, so hopefully this year can be the same.
Got a fan question, I think. We do allow this in the press conference here at SMX. Go ahead.
We have a 7-year-old Elena who has a question here for RJ.
I ride dirt bikes. Do your girls ride dirt bikes too?
They want to. I don't want them to. They have they do have a Stasic though, and they love it.
That's a good question. Got more?
Thanks, buddy.
Good luck.
Cool. Even wearing the Rockstar Husqvarna hat. She's all in. We'll take more fan questions in a minute. We have more from the media here.
Chance, congratulations on the Motocross of Nations thing, mate. Where were you when you found out? Obviously, like very late in the piece. Where were you when you found out? What were the emotions? And are you glad you ordered a passport all those months ago?
Yeah, I'm really stoked I ordered that passport back in June. But no, I was at dinner with, I took the 250 crew chief Jordy and my mechanic Tommy out to dinner. A couple of my buddies, Drew Adams was with me, and yeah, we were out at dinner, and yeah, I got the call from Lars and Mike, and yeah, I was like, got off the phone, like, yeah, that was a call. We were super stoked. I'm like, all right, Jordy, I'll buy your dinner, happy birthday. But yeah, at least I was like, yeah, you don't have to go to England and wear an Australia shirt this time. So yeah, it was super stoked, and I was happy to have those guys there with me. I feel like they're really close to me, and yeah, I feel like for everybody it was just super cool.
So obviously, I guess Hayden said no. Levi is a no due to Kawasaki, essentially, and then you get the spot. But can you understand why guys say no in terms of the schedule? Like, what is the cost to you of representing the USA at Motocross of Nations in terms of time, off-season preparation? Like, what does it now mean when you look at your next few months leading into Anaheim?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely takes a few weeks out of your off season, and when you got a couple lingering injuries, a few weeks goes a long ways, But for me, it was one of those things where like I might never get this opportunity again, and I was putting myself forward like I really wanted to go, and it's my first full season. Like maybe it's different if I'm 2-3 years down into this, and I got more injuries, but I mean, for me, it's like I grew up watching Des Nations, and it was I feel like a professional athlete in America, like going to represent your country on the world stage has always been my dream, and I feel like America is one of the, I feel like we are some of the best motorcycle racers in the world, so I feel like going on the world stage is a super cool experience, and I've never left the country before, so that as a factor too, like I feel like it's just a lot of cool experiences in one event. But yeah, I mean, like for a little bit I was like, yeah, like maybe I should stay, maybe I shouldn't go, like because I wanted to kind of get healed up at the same time. Like I wanted to go so bad, I wanted to go race these guys, and I was like, if I lose a few weeks, it is what it is.
Yeah, we'll have Chance, Chase, Aaron, and Mike Pelletier for the AMA come here at the end of the press conference if we got more donations questions. So we'll bring you back. Don't go anywhere. We have anything more for 250s? Go ahead. Yep.
Zach Newberry with Transworld Motocross, motocross.com. This question's for Pierce Brown. Haven't talked to you yet. So what, throughout the year, feel like you've had a solid year so far, building on from last year. So how do you feel coming into this Supercross round for your second time?
Yeah, it's been a overall quiet year for me. I've made every round, which has been my goal, from January. So I have slowly been building throughout the year, and I think everything as a whole has been positive from this year. So I'm excited to come into those last 3 rounds, and I just have a few things I've been working on the last few weeks that have been really positive at the test track. So I want to see how they show tomorrow.
Kellen Brower with Start Your Systems. Ryder DeFrancesco. We've seen all these guys in Florida building these SMX style tracks, but you and Pierce are obviously doing a lot of work in California. So what have you guys been able to do to prep for this?
Yeah, we have 2 test tracks in Marietta, and we put them together, and they actually ended up really well. So we have a couple tracks that we can do some hybrid stuff to, and the boys out in Florida, obviously I've seen their Instagram videos and all that, and it does look fun. But our tracks were pretty good, and they worked for us last year, so I'm excited.
All right. This is for one of the 11 of you. Maybe none of you are going to answer it. This year has been incredible to watch, to see all the young personalities come up, and a lot of the young rivalries too. So after all of the ups and downs through the year, how important are these 3 races for you guys to prove a point to each other and for yourselves going into a very long off season? Is there anybody that wants to answer about all the little stuff that's happened all year and how important these 3 races are for that?
I'll go ahead and answer. I mean, this will be my last SMX on a 250, so I'm definitely wanting to go out and battle, and especially since I didn't get to join the guys there in outdoors, I feel like the guys up in the front, I definitely could have been there with them. So just put on the best show we can here these last 3 rounds and give the fans what they want.
Dan Beaver, NBC Sports. For Hayden, you've been very clear, very vocal about how you wanted to race in the Motocross of Nations. So I'm wondering if the decision to stay out of it, team decision obviously, but is that part of the maturation process and underscores the importance of the Supercross Championship in 2025?
Yeah, I mean, I already kind of said all I needed to say about it, but it's a lot more. I mean, people look at it in a way, and there's a lot more behind the scenes that goes on than you guys think. So there's a lot of pieces to the puzzle that have to play out right.
Okay, I think that's it for our 250 riders. You can exit that side, JT's side. Thank you. We'll have 450 riders next, but also Motocross of Nations. We'll talk more with the team members and the team manager after the 450s. Go ahead, JT.
We'll get it started with the 450 guys. First up will be Justin Cooper, Justin Barsha, Malcolm Stewart, Ken Roxon, Cooper Webb, defending SMX 450 champion Jet Lawrence, Pro Motocross champion Chase Sexton, Eli Tomac, Hunter Lawrence, Jason Anderson, and Aaron Plessinger. We'll start. I got a question off for Jet. I think what's on everybody's mind. Where are you health-wise and recovery coming into the first round?
Yeah, the thumb's good. We're obviously still kind of working our way back in. I think we've had 3 weeks on the bike. So, no, it's good enough to race. I'm looking forward to being back. I've been missing it, and just excited to get out there and get in those race conditions again.
And then I got one for Chase Sexton. You're the defending Pro Motocross champion now, and you won this race last year, so you started off the playoffs the right way. What did you learn for the next 2 rounds where you can maintain that this year?
Yeah, last year I think I went the opposite way I should have went. I started off good and went worse. So No, it's kind of tricky with the double and triple points. Like, this race is obviously important, but when you get into those second, third race, that's where you kind of have to make your time up. So, yeah, I like this track. The dirt here is really awesome. I think it's honestly some of the best dirt we have all season between outdoors and Supercross. So I just enjoy it, and yeah, it feels kind of like Atlanta when they had the speedway tracks that I've always liked, and yeah, it's just overall fun.
All right, we'll go to the media. Oh, we got Chase Sexton fans back there? You can cheer.
Okay, Eli, for you, you didn't get to do these races at all last year, but we've seen you doing work down at MTF with the Star team. What do you think about the format, the track flow, how it feels on a motorcycle, and just go fast?
Well, the track was fun in Florida, that's for sure. I like the high speed. So, yeah, I missed last year, but it is what it is. And it was important for me to go down there and get some sort of feel of it. You know, I think we had a pretty good replica of it. So we'll see how it goes. But overall, ready for it.
Dan Beaver, NBC Sports. For Justin, Cooper, and Jet, coming back this stage after some injuries, these are going to be your first races in a little bit now. How important is the SuperMotocross series to your career? And is there some part of you that wishes you could continue to rehab from these injuries?
Yeah,
Justin.
definitely. It's good to be back. Not a ton of time on the bike, about 7 days. So not ideal, but feeling pretty good. I think it's great. You know, usually I would have been done for the season if it wasn't for the SuperMotocross. So this is great to kind of come back, see a lot of fans, be back with the team, and be back racing with the guys. It's been hard watching, so I'm really happy to be here. Stoked that we have SuperMotocross so I can do a couple more races and then take another break and get ready for next season.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it's no secret everybody's injuries kind of have a different path, but to be able to end the year and have something to build for, it's makes for a long off season when you're off the bike and off racing for months and months at a time. So I think it's cool, whether you're 100% or not, to be able to have these opportunities to end the year, whether it's good or bad, but just get gate drops and set yourself up for an off season going into Anaheim is where, at least for me, that's the main goal. But I think these are getting higher on the priority list, and yeah, I'm excited to be here, excited to race, and like you said, with injuries, you don't really know when you're not racing every weekend where you stack up. But I think that's what's cool about this event is it's kind of new for everybody and different style, different setup, and it's a lot of money on the line, so it'll be pretty exciting for all of us.
Yeah, kind of what Coop said. Really, it's exciting to kind of see where we're going to stand because obviously we haven't raced for a couple rounds. So yeah, just kind of going in open-minded. I think for me, we're going to do this as best as I can. Wherever I finish up, I finish up. You know, it's not my final year, so I know I have a lot more years ahead of me, so I can kind of not be too worried if I don't get it. But no, we're going to go out there, have some fun, and bang some bars, and just get that adrenaline rush again. You know.
Chase, this one's for you, mate. If we rewind a year ago, inside LA, you crash out of the final race, basically lose $1 million with that one. When Lars did the podcast, he said that by the time he got back to the truck, you were just gone. So if you want to look back 12 months, how different is the headspace that you're in? Like, you made some really big decisions, like life decisions 12 months ago. And if you look back at the guy you were then to the guy you are now, I guess how do you think that those changes are going to impact this season?
Yeah, it was some dark times after that the LA crash. I think, honestly, the whole summer, getting beat by Jet the whole summer and then coming in, I had a good first race here, but then I kind of just went back to how it was, and it just it felt like I just kept repeating the same process over and over. So it was obviously a done deal that I was moving on to a different team. So I had already kind of had my mindset on that. And, yeah, I just tried to kind of reset. And Supercross wasn't easy. It was a big change. And something that I kind of underestimated, to be honest. I didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal, but it ended up being one. So I started to get better, but I still wasn't great, and then I feel like outdoors I just kept getting better and better and found some stuff with the bike. So we were able to put that onto Supercross stuff now. So we'll see. But I say coming into this, I feel like I'm definitely a lot better rider in person compared to I was last year. So I'm looking forward to it, but we'll see tomorrow. There's stacked field up here. Everyone's coming back. I think it's cool that they have these 3 races because even at the end of outdoors, everyone seems to come back and want to get ready for these 3 playoffs. So it's a cool theory, and I'm excited for tomorrow.
And so Jet obviously wins the Supercross championship. You win the outdoor championship, but Jet goes out with an injury. Do you think that these 3 rounds basically become a showdown for like who's the top dog in the sport? Obviously, you've got the championship and the money that comes along with it, but I guess both you guys can answer. Like, is this just a 3-race shootout for who's the baddest dude on a dirt bike?
I mean, I think it's kind of hard to say that because there's so many guys up here. It's not just between him and I. Every guy up here can win. So, and these 3 races are so different that I think our 2 main series is where we put most of our emphasis into, and I think 2025 is where you'll see everyone come back, and that's kind of the main thing. But yeah, these 3 races, like I said, they're fun, and there's a lot of money up for grabs. So you'll see everybody hopefully A game, and yeah, we'll see.
Hunter Lawrence, fantastic 2023 and 2024. But when I think about this round in particular last year, I think it was a little underwhelming for you. So when you look back, is there something you can think about, learn from, and then apply to have a much better Charlotte round from 2023?
Yeah, absolutely. Last year wasn't ideal. It was kind of a weird vibe, I think, not just for myself, but for a lot of guys. You know, finish off the regular season, if you want to call it that, and then, you know, a weekend off, and it's like into a whole nother one. So, yeah, I sucked a bit last year in round 1, but, you know, then we won Chicago and then obviously crashed out at LA. Anything can happen. The first one, I think, as long as you put up a respectable number on the board and you're in it through the second one, anything can happen in the third one. Like the guy that won the 250 title last year didn't win any overalls. So it's really just kind of stay in the dogfight until the last round.
Clinton Fowler, we went fast. This question's for Eli Tomac. You've won pretty much everything there is in the sport, with the exception of this championship. What would it mean to win this championship, and what's it going to take to beat everybody up there on the stage?
Well, it'd be quite the comeback. I've had 2 injuries at the end of Supercross these past 2 years, so really just trying to get back to some sort of really high level, and that's to get fully healthy. So it would mean a lot, and it's a great purse too. So it's a good thing to chase, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, Eli, did you watch this last year, and what was your reaction before it started, and then what was your reaction once you started seeing it happen? Because we didn't even know if you'd come back to race this year. So what was your process of seeing this in action and then deciding, yeah, I like this, I want to do it?
Well, it's just something new. I guess things just get so routine, right? It's just something new to look forward to. Whole new track layouts and format with the 20 minutes there. So it's something very refreshing.
Chase with Race Day Live. This is for Chase Sexton. So Chase, with the SMX playoffs now, I think it's starting to kind of change the mentality for you racers. So now when the outdoor season's over, you win that title, phenomenal year. But now it doesn't stop, right? You've got a week off, and now you have these 3 rounds. So before you could just take a breather, you knew you had the off season coming up. But now, with that title wrapped up, as soon as it was over, do you think, okay, the job's not done? I've still got 3 more races to really put a stamp on this year before moving into 2025 Anaheim 1?
Yeah, it is. It's a little tricky, but I think every championship is so much different, and honestly, you almost reset after every one of them. After Supercross, I feel like it's a lot harder because you still have all of outdoors and then SMX, so you got a longer season to look forward to. But now we have these 3 and then MX of Nations. It's going to be it's like we have like a month of racing left, so really just put everything into it and go out there and go out swinging. Whatever that is, it is, and yeah, it's like a reset. After Supercross reset, after outdoors reset, and then obviously the off season. So it's tricky, but everyone's in the same boat, and go out there and do your best.
I think we got a question. We have a fan question back there. Is that true? Okay.
It is true. We
just had to get the mic.
Fan question from a 9-year-old. I'll let him introduce himself.
My name is Eli. I have a question for Eli Tomac.
Nice, Eli's.
What is your favorite place to ride?
Favorite place to ride? Oh, man. I would say actually any sand track, and we don't have enough of them on our motocross circuit, in my opinion. I wish we had some more sand. So I always look forward to South Lake. It's like one place I really love to go ride. Trying to think what else. Love Daytona. Daytona and South Lake. Those are my places.
Okay, I hope you win tomorrow.
All right, thanks, buddy.
A question for Malcolm Stewart. Really kind of broke out at Budds Creek and found success again. And when I think about Budds Creek and the dirt type there, what you grew up on, kind of similar to Charlotte, does that give you a little bit of quiet confidence knowing that the similarities across those three as far as dirt?
You know, I never raced this track actually, so for me, it's I'm excited just like everybody else is up here. Budds Creek was a great race for me. It's just really good to build back the confidence, and everybody knows, dude, when you have a whole year that's a season-ending injury that happened last year, you just don't bounce back the way you wanted to. So it's been a kind of a quiet storm for me, but I felt like for me it's been getting tremendously better towards the end of the season. So I think for these to do these last three at SMX, it's not necessarily, I mean, of course everybody wants to do good for the money part, but more all racing is good racing, right? So I'm more so looking at myself, just like everybody else, is just to kind of get through these rounds and have a great off season and swing for 2025.
You did tell me, though, you would like to make some money. What is the money going to?
For the boat, gas money. Yeah,
there you go.
Okay.
Jeff Bieber, Whiskey Throttle Media. This question's for Aaron. So, in many moons ago, years past, the Donations team, they would run the Donations livery at the last round. Ricky would do that, Glenn Helen. I want to know, I've kind of been pestering you, but have you given any more thought to running the red, white, and blue at Vegas underneath the hat?
I mean, if I dye my hair, I don't know that it's going to grow back once I cut it. If you guys seen the top of my head, you would understand. But I'm trying everything. I think I made a comment about getting the hair regrowth sponsorship. So if anybody out there lets me know, I'm down to try anything. But yeah, I might dye the tips. We'll see.
We're just trying to put that in the universe.
I'll let you know.
Question for Chase. Starts have been a critical aspect of the entire season, and I know you guys and the team have been working towards improving those. You have a split start here at Charlotte. When you look at the track, it seems like the starts are going to be critical. How do you approach that when you start to think about which side to go on? Do you react, or according to where Jet, Hunter, any of the really strong starters throughout the season are, or are you just thinking about where you want to be specifically?
Yeah, the starts haven't been great this year. I don't know. I kind of like the split start. I liked it last year, and also you have that little drop after, so it does make it a little different. To be honest, I just go wherever they think the start's going to be the best. I think we'll figure out what start or what side's going to be better, and then you kind of just go from there. And obviously where you qualify is going to play a big part. But yeah, just go for the best position and kind of just focus on myself, not worry about anything else.
Mitch Kendrick, Racer X. Let's go to Justin Barsha. Obviously, it's been a while since we saw you. Your career is kind of winding down towards later stages. Did you kind of have a preview of what retired life is going to be like, and just what was it like being with the family, and just what have you been up to? Just walk us through that.
Yeah, well, I hope I have a lot more racing ahead of me. No retirement anytime in the future. I'm enjoying racing still. This break was a good break. Took a lot longer than I thought on the knee, obviously, but it was good. I would say retirement is going to be a lot crazier than racing because my kid's are already wild. We have another one on the way, and I hope to have some more. So I think we'll have a pack of wild kids. They're like, honestly, my little one right now is full gas, out of control. So the next one will probably be the same, and if we have a couple more after that. So I don't think my life's going to slow down by any means, but I definitely plan on living in the UK quite a bit. My wife's from there, so I enjoy the cycling over there and have a lot of good friends over there, so that'll be fun. And but yeah, that's a long ways out. I hope I'm looking forward to getting through these 3 races, having some fun, see where we're at, seeing what we can build on next year. But next year, like Mookie said, it's next year is important for all of us, and I'm going to work my butt off, and a lot of changes going into next year as well. So I'm excited for that, and looking for a really good season and get a new contract after that.
Are you surprised that your kid is full gas, out of control? Has that shocked you at all?
Yeah, I don't know why. I thought he would just be like, easy. He shocked us, I think, because he was super mellow like the first year, and he's getting close to 2 now, and it was just like a switch. So, yeah, I don't know why I'm surprised because, yeah, I'm kind of wild, you know.
Yeah, he's a Barsha. Yeah, we're going to get the microphone over to a fan. Go ahead.
We have a fan question from 11-year-old Dominic.
So, Aaron, do you have any, I know you have really good form or style. Do you have any tips for jumps?
Jumps. Those are kind of hard because I'm really tall, so I hit jumps a lot different than most. I tend to let my legs soak up the face of the jump, and yeah, I don't know. That's a tough question right there. I'm not a big fan of seat bounce, and I know that. So if it were up to me, I'd say stay away from the seat bounce.
Okay, thank you.
I got one for Jason Anderson here. You were really consistent all year. I think you're the 3rd seed, I think, coming into this in points because you showed up for every round and you were consistent all year. When we first heard about playoffs, people talk about in other sports, sometimes the teams that are in first don't end up winning the championship. So we have a Supercross and a Motocross champ here. But if you thought, man, if we just nail this for 3 weeks and are coming as the number 3 seed, how well this could work out for you?
Yeah, it's the whole way this thing is set up is kind of crazy. I mean, last year I crashed on the first lap of the second moto, and that put me from being 3rd in points to being 9th, just with how the triple points thing works. So it's kind of cool how this works because I feel like if you're consistent, like they said, I don't think Hayden won a race last year, and I'm coming in 3rd. So hopefully, if I keep my consistency up, I could be up there somewhere in the top 5, which would be really cool for me.
And what kind of prep did you do then? Did you really zero in on this, or is this like, man, it's been a long season, I've done all the races, or did you try to ramp it up for this?
Yeah, I think last year everyone was kind of like trying to figure out what the tracks were going to be like. You had a track here in Charlotte, Chicago was quite a bit different, and then obviously Los Angeles was a lot different. But this year, I've been at Club. They built a whole SuperMotocross track, and yeah, had the team out, and we're trying to make our bikes as good as we can to be prepared for this, as everyone else did. I saw on like Instagram and stuff like that. So we'll see how it goes, and hoping for some good results.
Kellen Brower with Starter Systems. Ken Roxon, you raced a 250 at Ironman. Did you learn things from doing that you can maybe like use getting back on a 450 again, maybe like speeding stuff up again a little bit?
Well, I thought in general, just the challenge of riding a bike that I haven't ridden in a really long time is good for the brain. Been a 450 guy for quite some time now, so I think that was the biggest thing, just sharpening the skills, honestly, riding something different, having to get used to something where the power band is way different. And then honestly, I think Ironman is kind of a brutal track to go to as well for that. Just a lot of ups and downs and stop and go, and your shifting had to really be on point. I also thought that there was a lot of different soil, from wood chips to sandier areas to hard pack and tacky. So it was definitely good for me for the brain. Like, I obviously wouldn't say that I was anywhere near my best, but I still took the good stuff from that. And coming back on the 450, I actually adjusted really quickly to the 450 right away. And just tried to work on myself, and honestly was feeling pretty good on the bike. So it's kind of funny. I went from being a motocross guy to Supercross. Once I went back on Supercross, it just felt a lot more natural to me, actually. And I just ended up doing my thing and was feeling pretty solid. So I'm just excited to get this thing going. The track here looks a lot faster than it was last year. So other than that, I just took the good stuff and just trying to, keep the brain fresh and, sharpening the skills.
Okay, the fan question back there. Go ahead.
Yeah, we have another question for Kenny.
Hi, my name is Carla, and we named him Roxon after you just because we're so big fans out of you. But since he fell asleep, we actually have a question about you surfing. Do you surf skim or surf style?
First off, thank you for naming after me. That's really cool. I don't skimboard or skim, so if I go behind the boat, I still have a pretty regular surf-style surfboard with fins, and then in the ocean, just a regular surfboard, actually. I went last weekend and surfed 3 days in a row, and surfed my brains out, basically, so it felt good.
Thank you. Good luck, everybody.
Thank you.
That's awesome. He's asleep, though. That's funny.
I had a question for Cooper Webb really quick. last year, September, not the month you wanted, I think, but you made huge improvements in the offseason. You come out firing in January and battle to the end for the Supercross Championship, but injured and then try to come back. When you think about then and now, like preparation-wise, where are you compared to that, and what are your expectations going into September this year?
I mean, yeah, I think a year ago from now, I thought I was in a good spot, but clearly wasn't. So it's tough, like you said, like everybody's been saying. From injuries, you don't really ever know where you feel. You know, you ride during the week and you feel great, but you don't know what that consists of come race day. So I think for us, I've had a year with the team, which has been awesome. We got the bike in a great spot for me. I know kind of what to expect. I've been feeling great at the practice track, so I feel like I can be very competitive this year and try to be up in the mix way more than I was last year. And yeah, I mean, about 20 pounds lighter this year, so that helps. And yeah, we'll see where we stack up, but I feel good. You know, unfortunately had that re-injury at Unadilla of the thumb, and at least mine has been a pain to come back from. But overall, we're in a much better spot than a year ago by far.
Mitch again with Racer X. We'll go with Eli here. Obviously, you mentioned this being your first SMX race. You mentioned liking Daytona. Are you on more of a Daytona kind of Supercross speedway style, or are you more a motocross setup with a stiffer suspension? Can you kind of, I guess, give us some insight on where you're starting at setting-wise for this weekend?
Can't tell you. So, yeah. I don't know what I'm running. Got to keep something secret, right?
That's great.
Jay Coop, Justin Cooper, mate. How do you feel about, I guess, your position in the sport in terms of the way that we talk about you? I feel like you're maybe one of the most underspoken to and underrated riders that's in the 450 class. I mean, obviously Hunter had a pretty epic rookie season on a 450, but I mean, you take Hunter out of the mix and, you know, that's a crazy rookie season on a 450. Both of your teammates were out, so like the whole Star Yamaha 450 program was kind of on your back. But at the same time, when you do have interviews, you're like pretty quiet. So are you just a fairly quiet dude, or do you feel like you just don't get spoken to maybe as much as you deserve for the results that you actually do put up on race day?
Yeah, first off, it's been a great year with the team. Obviously, first full season 450, and it's been a pretty steep learning curve. Obviously, I've had a pretty solid year, made all the rounds, and that's made things a lot smoother and easier for me as far as learning. And yeah, I'm all around a pretty quiet guy, and maybe that relates to, you know, being underspoken about, but yeah, I just try to let my riding do the talking, and just trying to better myself each time out. I feel like I'm learning that this is a pretty long and grueling year. We have a lot of rounds, and just trying to hit the refresh button after each season or championship, and, you know, try to put my best foot forward each time out, and yeah, just taking what I'm given. And yeah, I think I've knocked off a lot of goals I've set for myself this year, and I think the first one was being healthy through all the rounds, and that's very important if you're gonna, you know, make that progress. So I think all in all, it's been a great year for me, and just looking to finish it on a high note and take what I've learned and put it into next year.
Jet, this one's for you real quick. Sorry, Jet. Jet, are you just pretty keen to get back to like being everybody's daddy out here? Obviously, that's the way that it was going before you went out with your injury. It's the first time you've had to really like sit on the sidelines and watch. So is there any way that there's a point to prove where it's like, hey boys, daddy's home?
I mean, I'd love to get back to my ways, but sadly enough, I think I have got to go through those same old things, getting used to racing again. You know, it's practice is just so different to racing. So, yeah, honestly, I could go off and say yeah, but I could go out there and put a good 8.8 and wouldn't be matching the results before. But I'm just excited to get back racing, man. I feel like I'm a little kid again. I'm excited just to be back, just to see all the faces of the team again, and just get back racing, man. I forgot how much I love this sport, and just love going out there and racing, get that adrenaline going, and yeah, I'm just looking forward to it.
Yeah, did you miss it more than you thought? Like some guys, like obviously you ride so much. Like you have to do so many laps. It's Groundhog Day, same driveway, same track, same everything. and that's what makes you guys successful. So a lot of times you can kind of be maybe looking forward to a break in a way, but what did it actually feel like to be on the sidelines, to watch Chase win a championship that you were looking good for? Actually, Hunter had the red plate when you went out, but what was it like to just, there you go, big bro. What was it like to actually watch that from the sidelines, and like internally, how did it feel?
You know, yeah, honestly, at first, I think I was excited for a break, and I think it was kind of kind of hiding it almost. And once kind of Redbud went past, it stung a little, and the next round, and just more rounds kind of kept going on. It stung more and more, and I didn't end up getting a break. I was trying to recover. I was still doing gym, still running, so I still didn't have a vacation all. And I think it just really, the break I needed is to kind of refire myself again and get that hunger, because I think I kind of got used to doing the same stuff each weekend, just I end up going through the motions. There wasn't no thought process through it. I think having that bit of difference of just being out in California for therapy and stuff like that just changed it up to where when I did come back to normal life, I appreciate it a lot more, you know.
You had the mic, Mitch? What happened there? Oh, fan question. Go ahead.
One last fan question.
Hi, my name is Sullivan. I'm 12 years old, and I have a question for Jet Lawrence. So I ride dirt bikes. Do you have any tips for corners?
Tips for corners. I feel like one tip would be keeping your head across the above the crossbar would be a good one to keep that front wheel in that rut. So I would say that would be in central.
Okay, thank you.
It's good stuff. Just learned something there. Well done. Hope everybody follows that. Check it out tomorrow. We have a question. Lurch, go ahead.
Yeah, for the riders coming back from injury, Barsha, Ken, Webb, Eli, with the return date of September 7th tomorrow, did you guys take physical therapy to the next level rather than if you weren't coming back till Supercross next year?
Yeah, definitely. You just get after it when you have the break, and like Jet said, it's not really a break. We're probably working way harder than we work in season because we're trying to stay fresh for the weekends and stuff. So for me, popped over to the UK, did a ton of therapy, and actually I never quite got my muscle back from my 2 broken collarbones last year. So I was able actually to really focus on getting my muscle back in my upper body. So I feel a lot stronger in my upper body, which has been noticeable on the bike since I started riding, and obviously working on both knees and hamstring and stuff. I did that as well. So it was a lot of work. It wasn't easy, but yeah, definitely got after it to try to be ready for these 3 races, and it was close. Luckily I got a little time on the bike and feeling good.
Are there others on that? Ken?
Yeah, I mean, even for me, obviously my leg was really atrophied and the muscle was shut down, so I'm still working on really, I can do a squat, and I have a little bit of still instability to pain. There's nothing really wrong with it anymore, but once you isolate the side of the injury, you actually can really tell how weak that side is and how unstable it is. So it's more like the annoying little exercises that don't require weight, but it's more so the movement, and they burn too. It's just different, and it's really just isolating that side and getting it as stable as the right side. Obviously, we're on our legs all day, every day, and the biggest thing is for me putting my leg down in a turn. Right, like the knee is a pretty, I guess, it's fragile. Right, like we get slammed pretty hard in the ruts and the turns and get bumped around. So you really want to make sure that you are stable in that area, just to not re-injure that side. So it's cycling, all that type of stuff, I feel normal. But once you start doing single leg stuff, that's when you can really tell the weakness, and just getting rid of that last little bit of instability pain, I guess. So.
Yeah, like these guys said, I think the biggest thing is, for me, when my injury came in May, so if you don't have anything to race for, you're not racing again until January. So, and it's becoming hard to make all these races. There's only 4 guys that made all the races this year. So it's part of the sport. Injuries are part of it. So you definitely hit overtime in PT, and it's cool to have something to get back for. I think that's the biggest thing. It's hard to to sit on the sidelines for that long and can expect to be competitive come A1.
Eli, what was your process there?
I mean, I had the mindset of coming back from motocross, so that was my goal, and I was able to come back in bud. So, I had no sitting around either. Yep.
Yeah, is it just not is it every? Yeah, you're asking 5 days a week, 6 days a week, 7 days a week. Are you doing something the whole time pretty much?
Well, I mean, I guess when you injure your hand, right? At least you can still go for a run. You really get outside and move around. But when you hurt your legs, like I did my Achilles the year before, it's like you're literally sitting around. So it just depends what's going on.
That's it. It's all we got time for, I think, here, right? It's all we got time. We're hitting 12:30. We got to let these guys go ride. So I got to keep Motocross the Nations guys here. Otherwise, we'll let the riders go off that side. Just a reminder of our schedule today. This is our press conference. They'll be practicing starting at 1 o'clock. 65s will be on the track first at 1. Autograph sessions from 3:30 to 4 for our fans on hand. Pit bike racing from 4 to 5. And then we'll be back here on this stage at 5 o'clock from 5 to 6. We'll have the first ever live podcast mashup show. Myself, JT. We'll have a bunch of people joining us. Ricky Carmichael, James Stewart, Jace Mathis. We're going to be here on stage taking your questions from 5 to 6. So we'll be back on stage at 5. And the race tomorrow, by the way, it is a day race. If you're here as a fan, you probably know that. If you're watching our live stream, keep that in mind. That race day live coverage begins at 9:30 a.m. Eastern tomorrow on Peacock. We'll have a pre-race show on Peacock starting at 2:30, and the racing begins at 3 tomorrow here Eastern time from North Carolina. And we'll talk to Team USA real quick. These riders will have to go out on the track. We welcome the 3 riders who we've already have talked to: Aaron Plessiger, Chase Sexton, Chance Hymas. We also bring the team manager, Roger DeCoster, here, and the AMA's Mike Pelletier. And we'll open it up to media's probably got questions. I don't think I need to start it. Looks like, Chase, you're ready to go.
Yeah, Chase with Race Day Live. AP, this question for you. So in that last race with Ironman, a lot of people were talking about Tomac, how would he be considered for that 3rd spot on the team? And we knew that you were 3rd in points. In those last motos, though, were you worried about Tomac beating you in that 3rd and final spot? Because a lot of people talked about, if he beats Aaron, will he be the pick? Will he be the pick? So was there some of that pressure on you to make sure you beat Eli in that last race?
Is this hot? Oh, yeah. Not so much. I was more worried about beating Hunter and getting closer to Chase than Eli beat me, I think. I was so focused on, moving myself past, I think it was Justin Cooper that was close to me in the points. I was so focused on that and moving myself up that when he came around, at Budds Creek in the first moto, he put down a heater lap when he was behind me, and that kind of got me nervous a little bit. But then, I matched it and finished the moto. But no, I wasn't really too worried about him coming back because I was so focused on moving forward in the points.
This one's for Mike. Very sorry, I'm going to ask maybe a potentially controversial question here, but I had a bit of a theory kind of come to mind. Obviously, there was the Hayden Deegan drama, I guess we could call it, with the Motocross of Nations selection. It pushed it all the way to the 11th hour, essentially. When you've got, you see in the past, so like Chase Sexton, Monster, Honda, and he goes to Motocross of Nations, he hangs out with Roger DeCoster, who a lot of guys have the ambition of, at some point riding for in their career. And then you see Chase make a switch to Red Bull and KTM. And then you've got, you kind of hear other guys that have had working with Roger at Motocross of Nations was something that made me make the switch. When you have a guy that is the first pick, he won the championship, and obviously the guy that you would have potentially wanted to represent Team USA, you've got Monster, you've got Yamaha. Does it seem like a bit of a conflict, and maybe that's the reason why there is so much trepidation? Monster, Kawasaki, is that a consideration that maybe that's why you guys struggle to get the quote-unquote best team? I think this team's capable of winning regardless, but, on paper, the best team doesn't always go. Is that a factor? Like, would Team USA benefit from somebody that wasn't a team manager, like managing the team?
That's a good question. I think we hear that a lot, but I can tell you it's really unbiased. You know, Roger and I work so closely in the AMA team, so, you know, the sponsors come into play a little bit, just when funding and wanting to go. And obviously we want to ask Hayden, right? He's the champion. It was the right thing to do, and he had a great season. And, you know, it comes this later. We used to announce at Unadilla. We've pushed back. SuperMotocross now is all the way through September, which intentionally, you know, essentially moved the Motocross Nations later. So we try to take the whole outdoor season almost into account. So just because it's looking late doesn't always mean that we're struggling with the selections. We're talking back in June with a lot of these guys. And, you know, there's a lot that goes into play, like what you said. But I would say Roger and I are doing a great job going through that, and it's been good. And we have a great team.
Yeah, I think you guys have a great team, obviously. But I think, like, do you guys consider that the alignment of certain manufacturers and certain brands is the thing that's stopping? Like, if I put myself in Bobby Reagan's shoes, do I want to give Hayden Deegan to Roger DaCosta for a month? Like, probably not, you know?
Yeah, that's a good question. Really, in those conversations in the trucks and behind the scenes, that's not happening. It's really like, what can we do? When can we go over? The athlete capable? Is he healthy? Those are the conversations, not necessarily that point, but yeah, those are the conversations behind the scenes. It's really not that it's complicated.
Have you heard any of that, Roger? Or do you think that's a factor at all?
And yeah, obviously no disrespect, Roger. It's more of a compliment than anything.
No, you know, I'd be really happy to take a step back if somebody can help the Motocross Nation better than myself. For me, it's still the biggest single race of the year. And I do it, I help because I like to promote the sport. I like to make it as international as possible. And actually, Christina out there, she has been doing most of the work for this the nation teams the last few years. And maybe she should, you know, take my position. I have plenty of things to do, so it's no problem.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Mitch with Racer X. I'll stick with Mike here. Obviously, we heard that Chance was coming over to the AMA truck, talking to you guys every week. I guess that's not always the case, unfortunately. You know, what is that like from your perspective? I guess how does that weigh into the decision? And just talk us through, you know, this chat you guys were having again. That's for a couple weeks now.
Yeah, no, that was it was kind of funny this year. So sometimes we do have to go, and it gets later in the season. We start those conversations with the rider to see who's interested. But I think it was Wash Hugel the first time Chance came over and kind of just moseyed in the truck, like, hey, what's going on? You know, thinking about Motocross of Nations yet? And that continued almost daily through the weekend, and then every week all the way up into Ironman. He'd come up for the riders' meeting, having breakfast or something, just pop in the truck and be like, hey, what's going on? So it's nice to see someone that really wants to go, and I know all three of these want to do it, and it takes a little bit of luck sometimes to win the Motocross Nation, and sometimes that spirit and wanting to be there is what pushes you over the edge.
Yeah, and then just a quick one for Roger. Obviously, he's on a different team. He's on a Honda, but battling with him, you're watching him battle Vial and these guys in the championship. What is it like for you being able to see, I guess, because you really probably don't interact with Chance at all. So what's it like being able to interact with him on the team here now? Like you're watching him from a distance,
Yeah,
kind of.
Sorry. Yeah, I think we have a good chance. It's a really good track, big track, and the way these guys have ended the season, the outdoor season, we should have a good chance.
AP, for you, this will be the fourth time that you've gone. Last year was your first year out of the country, and dude, I have to say, seeing how many people were excited to see you makes that an experience like no other. So for people that have never gotten to go to the Motocross Nations, and you as a racer, what is the experience really like to see people from everywhere come congregate in one spot?
It's pretty crazy. I'm excited to go to England. Last year, France, the fans were insane at the track, and they were coming over when we were eating dinner, and they were they had chainsaws, air horns, and they were from all different countries, and they were cheering for us. So it is a sight to see for sure. And that Ernée, the hillside was
was stacked with fans. I'm not sure you could have even walked around in there. So to see everybody come from all the different countries, it is amazing. And yeah, man, I'm really excited to get over there and show what we can do this year.
If I can follow that up with Mike, you know that this is the most important motocross race in the world all year. Although consideration of a team like this makes people wonder, how important is Motocross of Nations for American motocross? How important is it when you get to see all the different federations, all the different presidents, all the different OEMs there? What is it like, and how important is it for the AMA?
Yeah, it's really important for the AMA. We have this one circled all year on our calendar. Obviously, don't want to take away from the 31 rounds here of what we built in America, but the Motocross of Nations is special, and it's hard. There's two different, there's a lot going on at the Motocross of Nations. Not just the competitors, the federations are there. It's kind of that one time a year we can all get together and showcase who's had the best season, go head-to-head on the world stage, and put it up front. But it's really important for the AMA.
Kellen Brower, Starter Systems. For you, Chase, this is going to be the first time, I believe, since 2013, the Czech Republic, when you went to do Junior Worlds, that you're going to go to Europe and race. What do you expect for, getting over there, prepping maybe a week early if you can to get used to the conditions over there? Because it's obviously one of the biggest talking points of you guys going over there and adapting to that track.
I think it'd be a lot different if it was a sand track, like if we were going to race Lommel or somewhere in the Netherlands, where that's something that we don't really have here. But from watching videos and what everyone's saying, out of the Basin, it looks to be very American-like compared to most of the tracks over there, very big and open and fast. So for me, I don't think it's going to take a whole bunch of prep, obviously outside of the normal riding during the week and kind of doing my motos, but just trying to get over there and get used to the time change is probably the biggest thing. Yeah, we'll see. I haven't been to Europe. I went to Europe last year. I went to Austria in the off season, but to be honest, I haven't been across the pond very much. So I'm looking forward to it, and it's cool. I obviously raced 2022 at Redbud, which was a lot of pressure on us to win. We hadn't won in a long time, and it being back at Redbud, we really had no option other than to win. So going overseas, trying to earn back that number one plate, and it's pretty cool. I think we're 22, 23, and 24. I'm really excited for that. I haven't ran 22 since Loretta Lynn's 2016, so I'm excited, and we have a good team.
I like to add one more thing for the nation, is that it makes it extra difficult for the American teams because we have a different technical rule, and that's also why the teams maybe not so quick to jump into it, because it's a lot of work just at the time that we have to start working towards the next season in Supercross. The Europeans, they ride their bikes just the way they ride it the whole year long. We have sound to deal with. They can use everything works on their bike. We basically use our American bike, but then we have to change the axles, we have to change sound, we have to change the fuel, and it's a lot of work to do all this for the teams. So if some teams are reluctant to do it, they have probably good reasons for it.
Clinton Fowler, We Win Fast. Question for Chase. You mentioned Redbud 2022 in the victory. What did you learn in that victory that you share with a guy like Chance, who's going for the first time?
I don't know. I'm thinking that every situation is going to be different. To be honest, I wasn't that nervous until it started raining on Saturday night. I was pretty comfortable on Saturday, and then when it started raining, it just brought all those everyone from Europe, kind of like brings them back into play. So we'll see. It possibly could rain over there at that time of the year. That's at least what I've heard. So yeah, I don't know. When we get over there, we'll see how the vibe is and how everything's going. But it's just go out there and do your job. It's obviously a team race, so that brings a lot of added pressure in. Last year, or not last year, but 2022, I felt like I was racing for the country, not myself, which is the first time I've had that really ever, because I went to Junior World Championship, but I was so young that I really didn't. I mean, I cared that we won, but I wanted to go out there and do the best that I could. So racing for a team it's a lot different, and it's something that we don't really do ever. So that's the biggest thing that can play a factor, and you're racing for something bigger than just yourself. So that's it's cool, but also very nerve-wracking at the same time.
All right, I guess we're out of time here for our donations presser because they got to ride at 1 o'clock. So that's it. Sorry, guys.
You can skip the first practice. I don't care.
Yeah. It's not like it's a totally different track than anything you raced all year. Yeah. Thank you. Let's have a round of applause for Team USA. And yes, bikes will be on track momentarily. Autograph sessions from 3:30 to 4. Pit bike racing from 4 to 5, and 5 to 6 will be back here on stage for the SMX Insiders podcast mashup. Race day live coverage tomorrow starts at 9:30 a.m. Eastern on Peacock and the SuperMotocross Video Pass. Pre-race show begins at 2:30 Eastern, and racing at 3 o'clock.